All right, so I had an opportunity to get this Creality Nebula camera, and I just have to say I am crazy impressed. It's just a really good, easy to use USB camera. I I was a little bit worried because they market it that it only works with specific Creality printers, but it is just a USB webcam. So no concerns there. I'm running Clipper, have the camera plugged into a Raspberry Pi, and not a problem. So if you're on the fence or you don't have a Creality printer, no problem. If you're running Clipper, you're good to go. So I've got it here on my VZ bot. Basically, it's pretty easy to mount. So it does have a quarter 20 nut on the bottom for a tripod, and it does actually include a little teeny tiny tripod in the box. What I've done is it's got a metal base on it, so I threw a couple magnets that line up with these screws, and I can just mount it here. So I will probably come up with a more permanent mount, but I just wanted to give it a try and needed it to stay put, and this worked awesome. I do have some time lapses at the end. So this camera has a manual focus, and that can be adjusted just right on the bezel here. You'd give it a little turn left or right to bring your print bed into focus, or put an object on the middle of your bed and get it into focus. So that part's really, really pretty awesome. So again, I was running a Logitech camera before, a C930, and it was good, but I found the autofocus to be a pain in the butt, and every once in a while it would go out of focus and not come back. And then again, the field of view was not quite right for 3D printing. So I was running a Pi camera. You can see it actually still connected down here, but the Creality camera blows it out of the water as far as quality goes. So I'm really very happy with this. I haven't played with the quality settings a ton, but right out of the box without adjusting anything in Clipper, the software, the pictures and images I'm getting are awesome. It also does have a night mode, which works really well. So I do have case lights on my printer, and I generally leave them on just for monitoring more than anything. I don't do a ton of time lapses. But just for the monitoring part, being not able to turn my case lights off and still see that the print is good is actually a really nice feature. So I did include a time lapse of the night feature as well. So that's pretty cool. So again, just the Creality Nebula camera. I think it's about $60 camera. It's quite good. I would definitely spend my $60 on this versus like a Pi cam. Maybe if you're really constrained for mounting options, this might not work, but it's reasonably small, so I feel you can find a place for it, and it just works really well. So the only thing that I found that I don't love, and I wish they would have done something differently, is the cable comes out the back, and it does have strain relief, which is nice, but it does make, in my case, running it in the enclosure a little bit tight. I don't know what they could have done differently there, but what it does have is a really short USB cable. The USB cable basically on my printer only comes to about the back of the printer from where the camera is. So I ended up having to connect it to a USB extension cable. It works just fine, but either a longer cable or a way to disconnect the included cable and plug your own cable in would have been nice. Because it's designed specifically for a couple of their printers, I'm guessing that is maybe the reason. But in any event, I think this camera is definitely well worth the money, and I think it takes great quality images. So if you're in the market for a camera for your 3D printer, definitely give this one a look.